for joining us for another episode of Love, Marriage, and Everything in Between Countertop Talk. I'm Chef Shan.
I'm Mr. Official, and this is episode 32.
Absolutely.
We made it. We made it. So, tricky day today. I'm not even going to ask about the week because today was a day. So I'll start off so I won't put the pressure on you. I lost a business opportunity, right? Something I've been working on since August, actually. And I was glad that I did get a call, but now is not the time. But I guess the lesson in it for me to people is because even though I lost the opportunity, I still have an opportunity within the same business opportunity, but it's no for now. And it just made me think because you get so accustomed to telling people things to inspire and encourage them. But it was like, man, this is the one I really was trying to sink my fangs into. But no means no for now. So I'll say that made today tricky. I'm glad we're recording to kind of talk about it. This is therapeutic for us. But I'm looking forward to the next one. And one closed door just means another door is going to open for it. So
absolutely. And I would say you gained a lot of clarity in the process. So
you got to keep shooting. It's like my favorite player used to say, Kobe, ball not going in the rim, you keep shooting. So that's what I'm looking forward to doing is staying in the gym, keep my shots going up and, live with the results.
Yeah, absolutely. And I must say you look very, very fine tonight.
Thank you. I appreciate that. You too. Let's stay on course to talk to the people.
Yeah.
So first thought, I wanted to bring something up that, excuse me. I seen this on a timeline from someone that I know.
Okay.
And I also know the child's father very good. So she put online that if I knew what I knew now, I wouldn't have given my son his father's last name. And yeah, now the father is not a deadbeat by any means. And I wouldn't even think she's saying that. I don't know. I kind of read some of the comments. I really didn't get any clarity, but it really pushed me back because the father is like one of the many goats of fatherhood that I know.
Okay.
But she was just saying with these, with society, where did it even come from? So I kind of knew, but I still looked it up. And one of the things that I saw was, well, before I tell you what I discovered, what's your thoughts on that?
Not giving your child the father's last name?
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. I'm not saying, it shouldn't be her choice. I don't know her background or whatever the case may be, but in some cultures, the child take the last name of the mother. So maybe that's her culture, maybe that's what they do there. But for me, I would want my children to have my husband's last name.
Yeah, she was saying more so she would have given her child her last name because she said she feels like what makes him a better parent than her to have the name. Now, the only thing I could think of is that...
Is she American?
She is.
Oh, okay.
Is that they have a son who's very talented in sports, and it looks like he's coming into what he's going to be, which is a very bright future. But it pushed me back, and I'm going to be honest with you, it had me kind of agreeing to a point of how, some people are saying some women are delusional. I think that's very disrespectful.
I don't.
I do because it just to say it at the child's age.
How old is the child?
He's in high school.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like he's in high school, and again, I know the father, and I'm even think it's a toxic relationship between them. I know that it's not, but why not?
But why is this even coming about? Like social media just be doing too much. Why? Is it because he's about to have some type of fame and she wants her name?
I don't know. I didn't engage with the topic. I saw it.
Okay.
That's the only thing I could think of. but it was just more so like I'm just as much as a parent as mothers are just as much as parents as fathers are. I should have given him my last name. I gave birth to him. I carried him 9 months. And I was just like, whoa. So it did make me look because I mean, I couldn't see it no other way. And I think it's, you know, of course, you want a father, you always want your child to carry your legacy on, your children to carry your legacy on. Of course, with females, they get married, they carry on the name of their husbands. But when I looked it up, it says most ancient societies were patriarchal, property authority and family lineage were traced through men because the father was legally, socially considered the head of the household. The family name typically followed his line.
Mm-hmm.
But I also figured somewhere in this conversation, Europe was involved. And it did say in medieval and early modern Europe, coverture laws made married women legally subordinate to their husbands. So I knew somewhere, but it only had me think for a second because it's like what our traditions are, you know, and even though we are African American, we never lived in Africa, but our ancestors did. But that was that really pushed me back.
But you said that you found yourself agreeing.
Why? No. I don't know.
Oh, I thought you said you found yourself agreeing with her.
No, absolutely not.
So what did you agree with? You said I found myself agreeing to what?
No, it made me just look into where the tradition came from further.
Oh,
you know, I know we all say, oh, you carry on your father's name, but like, where did it originate from? But no, I absolutely do not agree with it.
Oh, okay.
At all.
I don't agree with it either. I just feel like this. I mean, if you wanted your son to have your last name, maybe, you know.
What she was saying, like, if she was older when she had her child and knowing, and I get that people, as we get older, we kind of really come into who we are.
She would have did what? Like
giving her son her last name instead of the father's.
But why?
I don't know. I didn't engage with the thread, but I read the comments because I know the father. And again, it's no deadbeat situation. I don't even think they have a bad relationship. I just think she was just venting her thoughts. And there was a lot of women that chimed in and agreed with her, to be honest with you. But I just thought that was like, that's crazy. So the only thing I can think about is that the son is definitely a star now. And I think he has a very bright future. But just like, wow. So.
Well, I think if you don't have kids out of wedlock, you're not going to have this type of conversation. So obviously the child was birthed out of wedlock.
And that's another thing she said. It's not like we're married.
Yeah. So I think that's the case. But, you know, your mother had a situation where she...
What?
I'm sorry to put you on the spot like that, but your mom have kids where still they have her last name. You know, I'm not trying to put you on the spot like that.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
You know, but
she included it. Right.
They have her last name.
Right.
Right. You see what I'm saying? But she felt like that, I guess, how this young lady is feeling, that she want her kids to have a piece of her and she want her child to carry on her legacy, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's how you're conditioned, but for me, I'm not with that. You know, I know when I was pregnant, we weren't married, but when I found out I was pregnant, I really did want to get married sooner. We were engaged.
Right.
But I didn't. I wanted all of us to be inclusive and have the same last name and things like that, because I'm very traditional, you know. Mm-hmm. But to me, this, you know, okay, I want my son to have my last name. I don't like it, you know, as a female, I don't like it. And I think that is one of the issues and problems that we're having in today's society with relationships and having a connections. You know, as a man, I don't know how that would feel as a man, knowing that you have, you know, provided your portion of what's needed to have a child. And you mean to tell me the child can't have my last name? Like
And
I'm
then
not feeling
it
it.
makes it even more difficult because you know how I am with our youngest. When your son don't look nothing like you, you get what I'm saying? And then, you know, he changed, his look changed as he got older, but I couldn't imagine, you know, because usually sons look kind of like their dad, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Or a mix of
like
both.
so we like in the same
He had
boat.
a phase, his facial structure and those things like that. But when he was younger,
He look like my
yeah, he
brother.
looked like your
He
brother.
like
Yeah,
me.
so I just can't imagine my son. I have my name. My son don't look like me. It's like, what am I here for? You know, like what's my purpose besides the bills and practice and things like that. So that was interesting, and it was a lot of comments. You know, I'll try to find it, but this was
Yeah, so since you read some of the comments or whatever, from what you read, what is the consensus? Do they agree with her or do
there
they
were a
disagree?
lot. There were a lot of women that agreed, and I
Wow.
was actually like reading, and I was shocked. I was shocked
That's
because
interesting.
yeah, it was let me see if I could find some of the comments. But I don't know. I just think it's a bit much.
Yeah,
You know.
and as a mother that has two boys, like if one of our sons significant other has a child and said that they not giving them, our son last name, I'm having a
That's a
problem. I'm
problem.
having a
Yeah.
problem with that.
Yeah, that is a problem. Let me just see. Give me 30 more seconds to see.
Mhm. You got it. You got it.
Yeah.
In other news, hope everyone has had a great week. It's a lot going on. Hope everybody is staying positive.
Yeah. I can't find it because she does a lot of posting.
Mm.
She does a lot of posting. But yeah, so you know, that's that. But yeah, and again, it just goes back to the divide because let's say you do that at the inception of, you know, at your child's birth. That's going to be, for most men, that's going to be a tough conversation. Like, that's going to be tough. And that's going to start chaos, like, immediately. Like, you're bringing your child into the world with chaos, you know? So,
Yeah, yeah. And it's like, we gotta like really, when we make decisions as parents, really dig deep to the root while we're making this decision. Are we making this decision for the betterment of the child, or are we making this decision for our own selfish purpose?
yeah, but to a degree, well, I'll say this as well. Most of the time, you're having children younger. So you're not really at your highest level of maturity. So that is very true now. Like, if it's a thing of having kids when you're in your like 40s, mid 40s, I think like, yeah, you really want to eliminate a lot of problems. You got a lot of wisdom. But I think I was 25, you were 24 when we had our first son. And we didn't have any game changing decisions like that.
Yeah,
But
we had some tough conversations because your name is hyphenated, and we went back and forth with that. But
mhm,
you like won that battle, but we had a conversation about it, and I think that's what you do. But ultimately, I fell back because I wanted my kids to have your lineage.
mhm,
So that was, I fell back at the end of the day because me going back and forth with you wasn't really about the kids. It was about me. It
mhm.
was about me, what I did not like. You see what
Right.
I'm saying? So, when you,
Like the first name you tried to give our son. And I was like, nah.
yeah, yeah, but you know what? When the love is there, I love you,
Mhm.
So when you broke down to me like this is my name, I'm proud of my name,
Right.
I'm I'm proud of it.
Right.
How can I dispute that?
Right.
How can I dispute that? I never would want to take that away from you. Especially, with us having a son. We knew we was having a boy. you know.
Absolutely.
But this particular person that you're speaking of, you said that she's older now, and with her wisdom, she
Yeah.
feels like that she would have did things differently.
Right. Right.
Yeah,
So
that's interesting.
to each his own, to each his own.
Yeah, like I said, in some cultures, I mean, that's what they do.
True.
You take the name of the of the mother, but that's not our culture.
It's not. It's not.
Okay.
So what we got on the docket today?
All right, so we got a few things on the docket. So it's a lot going on, as we always say.
You say that every week. It's a lot going on.
Yeah, it is. So it's a lot going on in the political space. And my question to you.
1 second. We said something last episode.
What?
And regarding TSA workers, I think we need to address it.
Oh, what?
And we were saying that we found out last week that they did approve those TSA workers that worked through the shutdown with the $10,000. So we were saying, hey, it's one thing to recommend and it's one thing to execute. But I'm gonna give the Oval Office their props for the 10K to those workers, especially during this time of the year. That's a great look to not only recommend it, but keyword execute it. So I'm gonna give your boy some props on that.
Okay.
What we got?
So right now, do you feel political burnout? With everything that's going on, are you, we just had the midterms, we had the vote and everything like that. As far as with our district, we had a lot of propositions we had to vote for. Do we want had this new tax? Do we want to not have this tax? Do we want to implement this? Do we want to not implement this? But in other areas, they voted new mayors, things like that. But the question is, do you feel political burnout already? Like, are you just like over the political scene?
I'm gonna say no, because both political parties are moving as I expect. I always say I think politics is the first reality TV.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on TV it's rah rah rah, and at the end of the night, you got people taking shots with $100,000 bourbon collections and wine collections, and life is great. They see the world from a totally different vantage point of the TSA workers that just started working again last week, the government workers that started working last week. So to me, it's uncontrollable. And I feel like everyone is doing what they have always intended to do, except it's just now it's more visible. People are more vocal about what they're doing. It's not behind your back. It's like right in your face. So it's just one of those things. I pay attention enough, but I'm definitely not going to let it consume me. Now I know this politics is kind of involved with everything, even with like the stock market and all that. So you have to pay attention to that, mortgage rates, things like that. But I'm definitely not letting it stress me out, because these folks are millionaires. And at one point, when I was a kid, I always thought people that worked in politics were the best people in the world. That was a naive me. Mm-hmm. But when you grow to get wiser, you see things totally different, and you are acting the way I expect you to act.
Yeah, for sure. Well, for me, I do have political burnout. It's just so much going on. You have immigration, you have tariffs, you have just no jobs. People are saying cancel Christmas. It's just so much going on. It's so many issues. And normally when you're in a political cycle, they talk about, okay, the fundamentals, the middle class, or, we got to do better with this, but it's never a multitude of different issues. It's normally like maybe one or two hot takes, like during President Obama's administration. It was the health care was the big deal. He got that passed. You know, then Trump, his big thing was immigration, building a wall. But now the second term, it's just so much. You know, you have ICE that's just popping out on people. They're saying people are disappearing. They're not even logging these people as being arrested or being in a detention. They're just disappearing. So it's just like the wild, wild west. So for me, it's just like I'm burnt out because I cannot believe what my eyes are saying. I can't believe what I'm hearing. Like, are people are just humans just disappearing? And it's just like, okay, another day at the office with ICE. Like, what is going on? You know?
Yeah.
It's
And we're still in year one. This 1 year has seemed like 3 years, to be honest. But I mean, you have Border Patrol in Charlotte. What border are they protecting in Charlotte?
right.
It is a lot, but right now you really got to be ducked off, keep your head on a swivel, and pay attention to the signs. And I just pray that people are adjusting to the times we are in, because I don't even think anyone could have prepared for where we are right now. But what you are able to do is in real time do things differently tomorrow than you did today, because that is the environment we're in. Okay, this is what you do every time this part of the year. Now you might be doing that this part of the year for a week, because the following week you may have to change things. And that is my biggest hope to anybody watching this, is that you're constantly adjusting. And I know it because before we got together, I never watched the news. So the news is just not fun. And plus it's depressing. It's depressing to a degree when you're watching, like when you're like from Baltimore and you're looking at the news every night, it gets depressing where like, you know what? I got to protect myself from that. However,
you gotta get the information.
You got to get the information now. National news, local news, and you got to put that together, calibrate, come up with a game plan. How is this going to benefit your family? How is this going to impact your employer, your business? How is this going to impact your social life? Okay, we take a vacation every quarter. Okay, maybe we're going to take one nice vacation for one quarter. Maybe we're going to do a road trip. I mean, like, it's unfortunate, but it's like you constantly have to move. And right now, the way things are looking, for me, it's hold on to every dollar that you have, except for the ones you have to spend. I need groceries. We need groceries, right? We need detergent. You know, we car maintenance, whatever we have to. The extra things I can wait on. I can pause on that.
Right.
Still has to be a balance, like anything, but you have to be very agile in today's environment, and we're going to have to the next 4 years.
Yeah, you do, but it's a lot. Marjorie Taylor Greene, you know, she was a ride or die for Trump and everything like that. So she's been under fire with Trump and his administration. He gave her a new name, Marjorie Traitor Greene. He said that she's a traitor now because she's been speaking out against him. So yeah, she's been speaking out against him, talking about that basically the president's seat is brought and paid for by foreign people, you know.
Really?
Yeah. So basically, whatever, you know, Trump is doing the bidding. You know, you want to get in, you know, pay this, pay that. He has a new ballroom that's being constructed, but he's not telling anyone where the money is coming from. Is it from taxpayers' money? How does he have this money to demolish an old part of the White House and build a new ballroom? You know,
so we're on a need to know basis.
Pretty much, and he's been firm on that. You know, we don't need to tell him, you know, what to do. You know, he's running things, so he's been very aggressive, but she's been very outspoken, and a lot of people are loving the fact that she is going against Trump as a Republican and calling him out on his BS. But some people are saying, why is she doing this? Is she set to run? Yeah, what's the play? Is she set to run, or is she trying to run for the next election? Because she's going hard.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that is, if you're in the same political party,
yeah,
that could be career suicide for her. But
it's not right now. I mean, people are loving it, and which goes to show a lot of his base. A lot of people are feeling the pressure of his decision making. Groceries are up, beef, vegetables, fruit, all of these things. He had tariffs on, groceries, but he's saying that he's going to pull back some of those tariffs. So they're saying, okay, you made this mess. Now you're trying to fix it and claim victory of something that you already created. So it's just, I said it's a lot. I'm burned out, like, from the political scene, and like you said, it hasn't even been a year yet.
And I know we would always say, and I guess people in our age group, we haven't been through more than our mothers and our fathers and our grandparents. But I think that's up for discussion now, because when you think about, even like you said, groceries, can you name a point in time where in some instances it is more reasonable to eat out than cooking?
Yeah, that never been the case,
Because the In-N-Outs, the McDonald's, the Wendy's, they are winning right now.
And even Fogo, we go to Fogo, you can get salmon for like $47, and the salad bar. It's things are reasonable certain places to go out.
Yeah, I agree. So something else I wanted to talk about on the finance side. So I think Trump is writing a bill or something for a 50-year mortgage. He wants to make that a thing. I don't know how I feel about that. He said it'll be better for Americans, and it will allow more people to become homeowners. But rates for a 50-year mortgage are going to be somewhere in the 7, 8, 9% range, which I feel like is going to be the new norm, because when we were kids, that was a great rate back in the 80s. But then paying on a house for 50 years, you're going to have, because I think what's going to happen is going to happen like when the mortgage subprime lending boom, and you could get a mortgage, you can get a paper loan is what we used to call them. Okay. So you could state your income. And a lot of people that stated their income obviously weren't truthful about their income, and they lost homes. So now, by extending it 50 years, more people will be able to buy homes, but 50 years of paying a mortgage, it just, I don't know, it doesn't sound right to me, and I don't like it, to be honest.
Yeah, I know it doesn't sound right. However, I do think if people play the game right, this could be good. Okay.
How so?
Well, this is how so. Okay. You always going to have to pay for shelter. It doesn't matter how old you are. You always got to pay to live somewhere. Most people that are homeowners that have a 30-year mortgage, most people refinance anyway. So you refinance anyway, you're extending that term. I do think it's a good thing, because a lot of people absolutely cannot afford to be a homeowner. The average home right now is $400,000 to $450,000. When we was coming up, it was what, $200,000 to $250,000. So this will give people the opportunity to be in the home ownership pool, and being a homeowner is a beautiful thing. Whereas though if you do find yourself in certain situations financially, you can leverage your home.
Okay. So to my point, besides your brother, how many people do you know that have a mortgage and have never refinanced? So if you're in a 50-year range, okay, all right, you got some bills to clean up, right? You accumulate 40,000 in bills, you refinance. Now you tethering with a 60-year mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
To me, that's too close to retirement. And then you're looking at these elders that you see. I hate to see older people working
Me too.
hard. Now I know they're doing it because they have to, but I don't see many people getting a 50-year mortgage and like, I'm just going to ride it out. This is a great rate, good home, because then you're going to want something else. You may want something else. So now that 50 can go to 70 very easily. And we know once you hit that 60 mark, once you retirement, now every day is Saturday. Your income is lower. Mm-hmm. You're spending more because you're off every day. You're running to the dollar store. You're going to Walmart. You're going to lunch with your friend. You're filling up gas. You getting flowers. You know, you're finding things to do. Those things that you're doing is costing you money. So in a perfect world, yes, it could work and it will get people in homes because guess what? I can stretch this thing out over 50 years. That's great. But those that are not as disciplined and really know how to leverage their home, you refinance one time, you're tethering now for 60 to 70-year mortgage. And that's the part that I do not like. And
yeah, but even if you're saying that, people may not know how to navigate certain things as far as refinancing their home. But at the end of the day, whether you're paying $2,000 a month for a mortgage or paying $2,000 for rent, you still have to pay to live somewhere. So I'm for it. I think it's a great idea because at the end of the day, you need shelter, you need food. So if you're able to have home ownership and that home can leverage things, you have credit card debt, you want to consolidate, you want to do renovations, your home you can leverage. Whereas though if you're renting, you're renting out and helping somebody else's portfolio. It doesn't do anything for you. But with everything that's going on in the world, right? Everything that's going on, it's a lot of information where so people can have financial literacy on mortgages. So say you do get the 50-year mortgage, there's things in place like velocity mortgage payments where so you can pay your mortgage off sooner than 50. So there's so much information out there.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Yeah, you just want to get in.
A lot of people don't know that though either. But yeah, you're right. The information is out there if you look for it.
Yeah, just get in. Just get in. And also, to just also add on to what you said about the mortgages, they are saying that the credit card debt right now in America is the highest it's ever been. So you got people dealing with credit card debt, their income at their job has plateaued, or people are not able to get back in the working realm of what they were being paid. Like all the black women that was laid off of these high paying jobs, they're out of work. Are they able to get back in the game at their high income level again? So something has to give, or things are really going to collapse.
Yeah. And the more you speak about that, I think about like the gig workers, because that is a respectable career now. And a lot of the younger generations find they're more at peace with gig work. They might do Uber, DoorDash, do something part-time. Yeah, Instacart, and they're comfortable with that. So it will give those individuals as well the opportunity to become homeowners, because in most cases, they're not going to make enough to become homeowners if they're just doing the gig work. Some people use gig work to supplement, but there are people to use 2 or 3 gig opportunities to be there full time because corporate America isn't for everybody.
That's true.
So I guess that is a positive component as well. It just has to be utilized right,
Yeah.
Yeah, it has to be done correctly. So we'll see. I mean, looks good on paper, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. So do you have any Any nuggets to provide, like with credit card debt being so high, insurance, it's open enrollment time.
It is.
So that's
insurance is crazy.
That's
right
an
now.
increase with that. They're saying with the open enrollment, this is going to be more expensive. Even if you have an employer, you're still going to have to come out of pocket more than ever before. So it's just like, even if you're working, even if you're a contributor, paying your taxes, citizen, doing what you need to do, you're going to be strapped for cash.
Yeah, man, you just gotta move militant and stay vigilant. I mean, like it gets to the point where it's you only can do what you can do. People are using credit because they don't have the cash, or they are using someone else's cash, which is smart in business. You always want to use other people's money and hold your own money. I guess the problem becomes when your debt, you're maxing out your debt and you can't afford to pay it off. So, right now, folks only can do what they can do, but you have to just be very intentional. And I know that's harder for younger folks. I was young at one point and it was just like this money. Oh, it's just $20. But you have to spend wisely. You have to spend wisely and pick and choose your battles on those things you are going to spend on. And it doesn't mean, look, we can't hibernate for the next 3 years. We still have to live life.
Yeah, and have a quality of
life.
And
have a quality of life. Absolutely.
Have a quality of life.
But you want to pick and choose. Do I want to get this hat for $200? I don't. Or do I want to go to dinner with my wife? I think the dinner would take me a lot further than the hat.
Aww.
That's not me. I'm just saying hypothetically. So it's just, those are the decisions we gotta make right now, and just do it for yourself, not for IG. Yeah.
So that's it.
Oh, that was cool. That was my final thought. How you kind of spent it. Okay.
Yeah.
I like that. That was a good closeout.
So do we have anything to look forward to for the remaining of the week with your sports show or insurance nuggets?
Yes, a few things. One of my favorite players had an amazing game last night in college. I want to do college and pro, but one of my other favorite, Cayenne Anthony, one of my favorite college players, and of course Kwame Evans from Oregon. 16 points, 14 rebounds. He's just refreshing to watch for a real basketball fan. So I might do some content on him this week.
That'd be dope.
Yeah, that would be dope. But outside of that, that's it. So until next time, keep dreaming, because when you stop dreaming, you stop growing.
Be safe and be blessed, and we'll see you next week.